do I recommend this as a first time bike? So the one thing I do want to talk about with the Daytona is the actual comfort of the bike. After, what, 2 months of passing my test, I actually went to Holland for a bike weekend, which, yeah, is pretty mad after a couple of months, I know. But with the bike itself, for that journey alone, I think we'd done the best part of 1,000 miles for a long weekend. And it was so comfy. The geometry of the 660, yeah, it gives you like a sporty look, but you just don't have that aggressive wrist heavy feel. Like you do sit up on the bike a lot more than you think. So like for me, that whole trip was actually it was genuinely like a pleasure to be on the bike. Where obviously only passing my test, and after 2 months I was kind of worried, thinking, have I bit off more than I could chew? You know, I've not familiarised myself with a bike that long. Was I going to get caught out with a very uncomfortable weekend? But I didn't at all. Like the riding position, your legs are quite sort of far down. Like I did actually sit on my friend's GSXR, and I couldn't hardly even get my feet up on the pegs. Like it just made me realise just how relaxed this bike is. You know, the fork positioning, your arms are slightly out in front of you, but you're not overly stretched. So I'm 5'8", and it's a very, very comfortable bike, which I can ride. I could literally ride this all day. The suspension, out and around town, you know, out for a jolly is very soft, very, very comfortable. You don't feel like you're sat on an aggressive super sport bike, feeling every single bump in the road. The only negative I have got, which every bike has a negative, is when you do want to actually ride quite hard on the corners, you do lose a bit of front end feel. That is the trade-off. But to be honest, for how the feel you do get with the front end, it's a happy trade-off. That I'd much rather have a bike of this comfort to go out and do short journeys, long journeys, trips, like I say, the Holland trip, and then hopefully I'm going to get to Derbyshire later on in the year. And it's now after doing an abroad trip, I'm more than confident that I'm going to enjoy this bike no matter where I go. A few of my friends have had, you know, aggressive sports bike, and they don't actually seem to enjoy them. Yeah, the look, you enjoy the look of your bike, but if you're getting on your bike and you're sort of starting to ache and your wrists are hurting within 15-20 minutes, and then it doesn't actually become an enjoyable ride, in my opinion, what is the point? You know, my idea is to enjoy my motorbike while I'm on my motorbike, not enjoy looking at my motorbike and dreading riding it. You'll have to drop a comment below and tell me what interests you for your first bike. You know, what are you in the process of buying your first bike, or have you just purchased your first bike? And what are you going to use your bike for? You know, is it just looked at as a daily commuter, or are you going to travel? Drop me a comment below and just let me know. I'm interested. You know, for me to jump on this bike and in 2 months end up in Holland is pretty mad, and probably something I wouldn't recommend doing, but I'm quite impulsive like that. Most of this journey I've been doing 40, 50 mile an hour, but it's just enjoyable riding. It's so light and nimble. You know, you can go around corners at 30 miles an hour and you don't think you're lugging a big heavy bike around. It's so playful, it's so easy to ride. You know, for me, coming up to the first year of owning this bike, every time I get on this bike I look forward to it. There's nothing that I can really say ever I dread. You know, it's comfortable, it rides really smooth, it's quick. You know, a 660, I think this is just under 100 horsepower. and like 60, I would say 69 Newton meters of torque. You know, yeah, it's not the most powerful bike on the road by all means, but it's how it delivers that power so low down. Like from about 5,000, I know for a fact that I can pull the throttle and it's going to respond, and it just pulls all the way through. It just delivers that power so low down, and I think that's thanks to the famous triple. Triumph have done really well with this engine. You know, you can sit at this bike like now on 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear. I'm doing 28 miles an hour at just under 3,000, and I haven't got any judder. It can literally cruise at 30 mile an hour in 6th gear. Triumph have absolutely nailed this 660. I think it's bang in the middle of exactly what you'd want from a sporty looking bike. So this is the one for me, I think, which is probably the most important for a beginner rider. It feels stable, it's predictable. You can really tell the difference between sport, road and rain mode. Like that low down torque and pull, if that's in rain mode, the way it delivers the power so smoothly, and this bike so far is not given me any sort of twitchy, unstable ride of any sort. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I've rode this bike hard, and not once have I ever felt out of control or the bike done something unpredictable. Young people getting into riding motorbikes, I know a lot of the time insurance can stop you what you're getting, but you know, you don't want to be jumping on 1000cc. You know that, you know, some of them bikes they'd just kill a beginner rider with just no clue of how to control and handle that power. You know, don't get me wrong, when I passed my test, one of my friends knew that I wanted a 1000cc bike, and he literally went like, "Jack, look, don't be stupid. A 1000cc bike for your first bike would just kill you." And I'm so happy I actually listened for once. I didn't usually listen to advice, but it's one of those times where I'm really happy that I did. This bike as well just sounds so good. Like low down, yeah, it's very quiet. I do get that, but that's not Triumph's fault, you know, with emissions and all that stuff these days. I understand they've got to do a lot of things with exhaust, which yeah, does kill the sound of a lot of exhaust. But when you get this to 5,000-7,000 and you pull that through, the sound of that triple is just so distinctive. It sounds so good. So another big factor, especially when getting out on the road for the first time, is obviously price. You know, there is such an array of bikes and bike prices. You know, what do you get for your money? For me personally, I knew that I wanted to experience different bikes and didn't want to commit myself to one bike that I technically owned and then I'd have to sell, and I'd put down £1,500 deposit and I pay £57 a month. You know, the list price for this bike, it's a 2024 plate, it had 3,000 miles on it, one owner. Technically the bike would have cost me £6,200. You know, I didn't want to finance £6,200. And then in a few years time I know I'd get bored and have the hassle of selling a bike. You know, where this PCP plan for me is, I pay my £1,500, I pay my £57 a month, and when it comes up to, well, my PCP plan being over, I literally ride this back to Triumph. I've got to say, even though it's a nice sunny day, it's friggin' cold. This wind is absolutely relentless. But I do love the Norfolk countryside though. You know, we're in 4th gear now, 5th gear, 6th gear, lovely. You know, how quick it responds as well. Like, this quick shifter is the only trouble I ever have with this quick shifter, which I will be honest about, is Hello, sheep. The only problem I've ever had with this quick shifter is when I have gone to ride a little bit too hard. From first to second, sometimes it struggles getting, you know, going through the gear. I don't know why. It's only ever between first and second. I don't know whether, obviously, neutral being between those two gears plays a little factor in when you're trying to ride really hard off the line. But apart from that, like, sitting here now, 30 miles an hour again, sixth gear. If I then become, you know, if I then came to a bit of open road for a national speed limit, you can literally flick this bike down so quickly like this. You know, I'm down to second, ready to go. It's so responsive. So let's talk about looks. It ticks all the boxes of looking like, you know, a strong super sport bike, and that's my opinion. People like yourself watching this video, you might not agree, but personally, like, looks wise, I don't think you can fault it. The only thing as standard I've changed on the bike is, I think what a lot of people do now with modern bikes is adding a tail tidy. You know, them horrible, hideous bits of plastic hanging from that tail is, I don't know what they're thinking, but apart from that, you know, from every angle of this bike, she's a pretty bike. To be honest, even being 5'8", I'm still on my tiptoes. I'm such a short ass. I think this has got the lower seat on it as well. Typical British weather. You can start in sunny weather, and this cloud has come out of nowhere, and I'm now getting rain droplets on my visor. But then again, this is the beauty of this bike. Like, I can be riding it now in sports mode like I am, and with the menu I can just flick straight on to rain mode, and the power delivery is so different. I remember getting caught out for the first time on my bike in the rain, and I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely crapping myself. Very quickly I sort of gained confidence on the bike in the wet and understood that I can actually lean a bike into the corner and I'm not going to fall off, or when I'm exiting a corner I can actually use the throttle and not be scared that the bike is going to throw me off. So yeah, as I was saying about the switch of modes, what I'll do is I'll flick the camera to my chin mount and I can literally show you just how easy it is to flick over to rain mode. And also I'm very thankful for these heated grips as well. And voila, we are facing this way. So this is how we'd flick over from sport mode that I'm in now, and as typical UK weather, you're out enjoying your bike in the sunshine and then suddenly it starts to rain on you. As you can see here, you've got the M for mode, so all you've got to do is click that, and as you can see there, you'll get sport come up on the dashboard, and then just use these buttons here to go left or right, so road mode and rain, and all you got to do is then press the tick button, close throttle to confirm. So if you was obviously riding and you had obviously your throttle open, all you literally got to do is roll off the throttle, and just like that you've gone from sport mode to rain mode. And it gives you the confidence when suddenly, you know, you're caught out in rain like I am, that the bike is going to do everything it can to make sure you stay actually upright on the road, and it does such a good job. So let's talk about the dash. I actually really like this dashboard. It's really clean, really easy to use, and I've seen on some bikes touch screen and God knows what, where I don't really know why you'd be wanting to mess about with a touch screen while you're riding your bike, but this digital screen is really easy and user friendly. You know, you've got the RPM at the top, you've got your fuel, and then below you've got your speed, and then below that is different options that you've got. As you can see, I've got it on an option where I can see my gear change, the time and the date, or just by a simple press of the button you can flick through. So as you can see now, the gear changes position to go up next to your speed, which I find really good. And then you've got your trip on there. You've got 32.7 miles per hour. That's my average speed. And then again, like, just keep flicking through the menu. So you've got trip 1, trip 2, which is fuel status. Now I've been out on this bike for what, nearly an hour and a half, couple of hours, back roads, you know, not riding completely steady, but overall, you know, cruising nicely, sitting at a comfortable 56 miles per gallon, you know, which is really, in my opinion, is great fuel economy, you know, for a bike. I've had this out on longer rides, and I've had this set up at 70 plus miles per gallon, you know. It's really, really good. Also tells me I've got 125 miles left to a tank. With the ridiculous fuel price as it is now, my tank was pretty low, and I filled up and it was 21 quid. Yeah, you're not getting this much, no way you're getting this much fun for that price. Do I recommend this as a first time bike for a beginner? And my answer is yes. I absolutely recommend this bike. I think if you've got a bit of discipline and you can respect it, you know, it's not slow. It's not a slow bike, but as I said earlier, you know, it's very predictable. Because don't get me wrong, I don't ride mad, but if you're a bit crazy, there's only so much that traction control's gonna do to help you until it does throw you off. Because you are gonna be tempted to ride it hard. I can't lie to you. You know, for me, this bike does everything. It's perfect as a daily commuter, and for a weekend fun. This bike is just so fun. So fun.